And welcome back to the Horns Up podcast, where we talk about everything Los Angeles Rams. Joining me on the line tonight is my good friend Bryan. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great tonight, Frank. Been looking forward to that Super Bowl here in a week. Seven
Yeah,
days,
I know.
baby. Yep.
I know.
We got the horns up for that. Horns up.
Well, it's like I told you earlier. I'm not buying any of the conference championship apparel. I'm not doing it. No merchandise. I don't want a conference title. I want a Super Bowl title. That's the merchandise I'm going to be buying, man. You know what I mean?
Totally agree. I think we're at a point now where it's Super Bowl or bust, right?
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
much it.
fun stuff, but I don't want it. I mean, maybe I'll buy it at Ross's, 6 months from now when I find it on sale for like $5.
There you go. There you go. Well, Bryan, I mean, I've followed some conversations in the international media. One of the things people are talking a lot about, and you really research this all over YouTube, is the branding that the Rams released last year, kicking off the new season, the new stadium at SoFi, of course, and the new uniforms, the new branding, the new logo. It's still a topic of conversation because there's really a lot of controversy behind it. I know Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk has been talking a lot about it lately. Particularly, he's hoping that the Rams for the Super Bowl don't wear their dirty dishwater uniforms, referring to the bone color uniforms. And
Yeah.
so, I got a lot of opinions on it myself. Listen, this is kind of an aesthetic thing. It's a personal thing, right? Because I can tell you right now, I can look across the league and I think there's some terrible uniforms, in my opinion, starting with the Tampa Bay Bucks. I've never liked Tampa Bay Bucks color scheme at all. Rams, historically, in my opinion, have had one of the most beautiful uniforms in the NFL. Sort of that glitz, that glamour of Los Angeles that kind of mimics like the Lakers and the Kings purple and gold, right? The Dodgers royal blue. But there was a change here, a rebranding with new uniforms last year. What are your thoughts on that?
I was extremely happy with the change, as I was never fond of the change when they went away from the blue and yellow when they were in St. Louis. I agree. I mean, the blue and yellow is a staple of the team. Uh, they should have never gone away from it. Georgia again moving the team and then changing colors on us. You could say it jinxed the team. We've never won with those colors. I mean, the last Super Bowl we won was '99, and we were in the blue and yellow. So now we're back in there, and I'm happy they went with the change. I like the new royal blue. Like a lot of fans, the bone is a little bit, it's different. And, and what I'm starting to see is like the Rams have gone back to more of the white throwback. So I'm happy to see they're using that and kind of getting away from the bone a little
Yeah, yeah. Here's my take on it. I too did not like the royal blue and gold in St. Louis. We did nothing but losing those jerseys. But more, it just didn't feel like the Rams to me. And of course, they came back here, and then we had a complete mismatch uniform for about a year or two because the league, you have to apply to get the new uniforms. The league has to prove it, things like that. Now, as far as the new uniforms, I'm glad they went back to the royal and blue. I don't have a problem with the colors per se. Here's my issue with the new uniforms, man. The first of all, of course, I think we've heard a lot of this, especially from the likes of Eric Dixon, the horn. They changed the horn. And to me, I don't like the horn on the helmet. It doesn't look like a Rams horn, especially because that horn is iconic. It was the first, again, emblem symbol used on any NFL helmets back in the old days. To me, it kind of looks like two crescent moons. I haven't got acclimated to it. That's number one. Number two, I don't like that gradient look where you fade away the numbers on the home uniform. There it is there. There it is there. I like the pure gold. I think it loses some of its luster. And I think that's two of the main complaints, I think, with a lot of it. And then the other issue is this. What is the Rams' official symbol? Is it the LA with the horn, or is it that sheep, right? That kind of stripped down sheep that doesn't look kind of too, masculine, kind of looks like a weak sheep. And that's one thing that
bit.
Mike Florio of ProFootballTalk.com was saying. The Rams seem to have all kinds of different symbols. Is there an official symbol? these uniforms, the bone color, that's another issue. He says they look like dirty dishwasher uniforms. It's different. It's different, Bryan, without a doubt.
Oh, I think it's the LA. I mean, I think when they decided to use the LA, like the one on the hat,
Right.
I think that was the true branding. I mean, we see it with a lot of teams from KC, the LA for the Dodgers. I mean, it's just using LA in general, I believe, is the true brand that they wanted to go with. Again, you're branding LA. I mean, if you're going to chase after the LA market, what else can you use besides the LA?
Right.
So I agree with you. I am definitely, in fact, I won't buy it. I do not like the so-called sheep that they're using as that emblem. I think it's soft. It looks like something that doesn't belong in a football jersey or a T-shirt or anything, as far as I'm concerned. So I won't buy it. I stay away from that emblem. Period.
Right.
But I also like the dog one that they had in St. Louis. I was not a fan of that one either. So
okay.
I think they're still searching for one for me to like.
Yeah. Okay. I was okay with the one in St. Louis. Now you mentioned the modern throwbacks. Now I will say this: as much as I didn't like the ones they revealed last year, the bone and even the home one here too much. The home one's not bad. It's not bad, but the throwback that they released this year, I think, is absolutely gorgeous. And I think in some ways it's an admission of, okay, we screw this thing up. And they brought back what looks like the road jersey that they wore in Super Bowl 36, or should I say Super Bowl 34, the one that they won. It kind of gives the old school Ram fans what they wanted. I got a feeling it's an admission of we screwed it up, and we're going to slowly turn this thing around. We don't want to be completely embarrassed that we screwed up the rebrand, but we're going to slowly start to give you guys what you want. We heard you. We understand it. You didn't like it. That's what I get from it.
I completely agree. I mean, look what they did for the Super Bowl. I mean, if they were truly going to stick with the rebrand for the white jersey, they would have went with the bone. And they got away from the bone, I mean, for the Super Bowl. I mean, we went white throwbacks, for which we looked like the same uniforms, or as close as we're going to get to when we won the Super Bowl back in the 99-2000 season. It's the exact same jersey we wore back then, for the most part. I mean, when you're talking the throwback as of now. But I think it is a submission. I think it is the Rams going, yeah, we kind of screwed up with the bone. It's definitely not what the LA fans wanted.
Right.
I think they definitely have bought into the blue, and I like the blue. I'll be honest with you, I'm a huge fan of the blue. The blue and yellows that they've been wearing through these playoffs. I mean, the yellow pants with the blue jerseys. Being an old school fan, I mean, those jerseys in themselves have always just stuck out. So I'm very happy that that's kind of where they've kind of gone with the blue and yellow, and not the blue and blue or the blue and white. It was the blue and yellow. I mean, back in the 80s, that was the jersey. I mean, you wore yellow pants with the blue tops.
Yeah, it's interesting. Again, listening to Mike Florio on ProFootballTalk.com, he mentioned the yellow pants, and okay, the yellow pants, they're kind of weak, kind of thing. I'm thinking to myself, but that's the Rams. They've always had those yellow pants go with the jerseys. I mean, would you say the same thing about the Pittsburgh Steelers? They got yellow pants, right? If I'm not mistaken, the Packers have yellow pants. I mean, that look, it works for all these NFL teams, including the Rams. And so that's why I say when we talk about rebranding, uniforms, colors, emblems, it's personal preference, right? These aesthetic kind of things. And I think what you need to do here is appeal to the Rams fans, what we know the Rams to be historically. It's like I've said so many times, when you look at the blue and the gold, kind of the historical Rams, they're supposed to shine in the nighttime, right? They're supposed to be glitz and glamour. They're supposed to be Hollywood. That's what we want, right? Just like the Lakers Showtime, when those uniforms, those beautiful bright colors hit the court or hit the field with the Rams, man, they're supposed to stand out. And when you look at the Rams historically, you compare them for the most part to other NFL teams, their uniforms are the ones that stand out on the field, not their opponents, generally speaking.
Yeah, I mean, those yellow pants stand out. I mean, they're hard to miss on the field. I mean, we've seen it the last few weeks, the blue jerseys with the yellow pants. They're bright. They catch your attention. They look fast on the field. You know, I mean, it's the blue and the yellow is what they should have been doing from the get go. And it's nice to see that the ownership is seeing that. I'm so overwhelmed, so happy the fact that they, even though they're having to wear the white, that they are wearing the modern throwback to the Super Bowl. You know,
Right,
and,
me
and
too.
getting that back into the rotation. And we might see like that might be the, even though they call it the modern throwback, the new away jerseys going forward. I mean, for the Rams. And you might see a lot less bone and bone every year.
Right. I think the bone on bone makes a good alternate uniform. I'm okay with that. But I find it interesting because this organization, since it came back from St. Louis, has done absolutely everything right except this uniform issue. That's the irony of it all, right? That's what's amazing about it, because it's so fun being a Rams fan right now. I mean, they're making moves, they're winning ball games, right? I mean, they've really come back in style, and McVay has turned his organization around, and it's just a joy being a Rams fan. It's the one thing they've screwed. That stadium is absolutely gorgeous, man. And so it's quite amazing. And then you look across the hallway and you look at the Chargers uniforms. I got to tell you, the Chargers uniforms are gorgeous. I love their rebrand, man.
They're good. I mean, but again, they're using the blue and yellow.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, that's just the color that sticks out. So I mean, they've always had a jersey that stuck out. You know, go back from their San Diego days, Dan Fouts, the lightning bolts. You know, and they stand out. And the Rams going back to their blue and yellows, they're finally standing out again. Now we can talk about the crescents and the way, you know, you can understand like when they sent it out and they sent out the memo stating why we did this, you know, with the basically the Ram horn changing, the broken line in it, trying to create the wave, you know, so it's Southern California surf, you know, and it makes sense, but it's not ball. You know, I want to see the Ram horn. I mean, that is iconic. I mean, you like you said before, they were the Ram horn was the first emblem ever put on a helmet. Why would you change that? I mean, it's history, it's tradition. Changing the Ram horn was something I would have never thought about doing.
And nobody was complaining about it. Nobody was complaining about it. Everybody loves it. Yeah. That's the thing about it, man. And so when you have now again, when you have the likes of Eric Dickerson, who was really front and center when it came to getting rid of Jeff Fisher, here comes Eric Dickerson again. When they reveal these things, they say, "Wait a minute, what are you doing here?" I mean, Dickerson. You know, I'll tell you right now, Bryan, when they were in St. Louis, was Dickerson ever a commentator for the Rams? Because ever since they came back to LA, he's truly become that Rambassador, right? I mean, whenever there's an issue with the Rams, he's front and center. He's kind of like this unofficial spokesman for the organization. I mean, he really led the charge again against Jeff Fisher to have him removed. He had a public spat with him. And when his uniform was revealed, he was the first one to say, "Wait a minute, what are you guys doing? What do you guys?" And once Dickerson speaks, it seems like the organization really has no, you know, they have to really go with what Dickerson says. It's quite amazing the influence he has.
Well, he is the Rambassador. He's on every sports talk show here in LA.
Yeah.
And it's always about the Rams. I mean, he just made a bet with Skip Bayless, basically saying the Rams are going to win by 21 points.
I saw that.
I mean, so, yeah, I mean, he is, which is awesome to see because, you know, a player usually gets traded like he did. And for him to basically, with the Rams coming back to LA, take them on as his team and be the so-called Rambassador. And he doesn't pull punches. He never has. Which is great. I mean, I have a signed Dickerson jersey still hanging in my closet. I got it signed a couple years back, and I'll hang it up one day. I mean, he was an all-time great. So for him to step up and he says his piece. You know, the jerseys, the helmet decals. You know what the team is doing or not doing, I mean, we have Kurt Warner and different guys that are on these different shows, and the one guy that's all Rams is always Eric Dickerson. I mean. Sounded like Michael Irvin with the Cowboys. I mean, when you ever really see him pick against Cowboys, you're never going to see Eric Dickerson do that.
Right. do you get the sense, and I've heard this a lot, that Warner has some issues with the Rams organization? I don't see him talking up the Rams a whole lot, and he is kind of, we'll see what happens this year with Matthew Stafford, but the miracle season in St. Louis, I get the sense that I don't want to say Warner has animosity toward the Rams organization. I don't know what it is, but he clearly he's not as pro Rams as say a Dickerson is. Is it because they moved to LA? Is it? Do you get that sense, or is it just me?
Oh, yeah, I mean, we definitely get that sense. I mean, you look at the teams, and it's between Arizona and the Rams. He tends to wear a cardinal color. He's in the red. Things like that. You'll notice. I think part of it might be more that he's trying not to come across as biased.
Fair enough.
He's trying his best to be a very good analyst and be fair. But I do think there is a little bit there. I mean, even though he got his break and things were awesome, and unfortunately he had that thumb issue and things went sour and they moved on from him, and it took a few years for him to get it back. Until he really worked out the glove issue and got his thumb right. He had all kinds of issues, even in New York.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I agree. I mean, he's definitely not a full blown, Rambassador, as we call Eric Dickerson.
Right.
That's for sure. I mean, and we all see it. I mean, every Facebook page you're on or any kind of media that deals with the Rams, social media sites, yeah, they'll all call out Kurt Warner because he doesn't just go all Rams all day.
Right. And in some sense, you could say that he's been right most of the time because the Rams were losing. But I think now the last few years, I think we probably want some love from Kurt. And listen, I love Kurt. Okay, what he did for this organization was absolutely, it was miraculous. It's a great story. Obviously, we got the movie that came out in December, which was a great movie. I haven't seen it yet. I'm waiting for it to come out on Redbox. But and I'm going to watch it. And I got my Warner jersey, and I will be forever grateful for the memories that I get to cherish really for the rest of my life. But I sense, and maybe you could talk to this, is that ever since the Rams moved back to LA, it seems like the old LA Rams, the Jackie Slaters, the Dickerson, the Ferragamos, they've taken front and center because they were the LA Rams. And I do see Torrey Holt a lot, and Holt speaks to the Rams. I see him and maybe Isaac Bruce, but it seems there is a disconnect between the St. Louis Rams and the LA Rams. I think that's just trying to work out this move still, right? We talked about in the last show where we talked about how the St. Louis fans right now are angry and cheering against the Rams because they left, right?
Yes. Terrible. Be a fan.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Okay, so listen, we got a lot of other stuff to get to as we get to the Super Bowl. I think next show we're going to do some deep dive analysis. I know you've been watching some tapes on Joe Burrows, and I'm going to love getting to hear that from you. We'll cut that in another cast. But to wrap up this rebranding thing, what do you think, again, the Rams' future looks like with uniforms, symbols, and the stadium, and the culture at large in Los Angeles?
Winning will keep building the culture. I mean, I'm walking around today wearing my Ram gear, right? I'm out there actually wearing a white Bruce jersey, the throwback, the ones that they're wearing. And we went to Cheesecake Factory for lunch. Great day today. It's beautiful Southern California weather. We went out to Cheesecake Factory, sat on outside on the patio, and literally as I'm walking in and walking out, I got high-fived or said "Go Rams" by multiple fans. So it's there. You're seeing it, and I'm seeing it in person just wearing my gear around town. So when it comes to the colors, I mean, again, I think this is the one we're looking at. I think this is the one that is really the brand. We're going with the LA. We are LA. You bring out the Dodgers. I mean, that's their hat. It's the LA. I think the Rams are going to be the same way. I think most fans are going to wear this LA hat when as time moves on. And I'm good with it. I mean, I like the direction that we're in. I mean, like I said, some of us hate the gradient colors. I'm a huge fan. When that scoreboard starts changing lights and things are kind of crazy within the stadium, if you pay attention to these gradients, it just shines off the jersey.
Okay.
I mean, even my wife notices it. She goes, yeah, it's crazy. So that when that scoreboard lights up and it's doing all that crazy different color kind of stuff, the gradient, it shows on the jerseys. It changes and moves colors with the gradient. And it's glitzy, it's LA. So enjoy it. We are LA. We are Hollywood. And that's part of the brand. Let's run
All
with
right. All right. Listen, very well said. Let's just fix those road jerseys. Let's tweak those horns back up. And I think we're going to be fine.
Yes.
That's my only complaint right now, is that we got to move off those bones and maybe keep it as an alternate. But those new throwback jerseys are beautiful. I love those. Let's fix the horn, and I think Ram fans are going to love it. And I got a feeling we're heading in that direction, because at the end of the day, it's about money, it's about dollars, and the more attractive the Ram fans, or the more connection, social connection they have to these colors, these symbols, these uniforms, the more they're going to sell. And the bottom line is money talks, and everything else kind of walks. So there you have it.
That Super Bowl, you're going to see a lot of merch be sold.
That's
Everybody's
right.
going to be in some Ram drip. We're going
Well,
to be just looking good here
I'll
in
say
Southern
this much.
California.
I'll say this much. Whatever happens in the future with the uniform and the branding, if it changes, if the Rams win this Super Bowl, those uniforms will be iconic regardless of whether we like them or not, because they won the Super Bowl in Los Angeles with those uniforms. That will be fascinating to watch in and of itself, So
Yeah. We win 2 of them in the throwbacks. We may never wear a different jersey in the Super Bowl, as many times we might get back there over the next few years. Hopefully.
You're absolutely right. All right. That's it. I want to thank my friend Bryan for joining us tonight. Thank you, buddy.
Horns up.
Horns up. Okay, this is Frank signing off for the Horns Up podcast right here on YouTube. Make sure you check out our channel. Please subscribe. We would appreciate that. Go Rams. We're a week away from the big game, Super Bowl 56 against Cincinnati Bengals. I'm nervous, but I'm feeling good about it. I like our chances. Good night, everybody.